don't participate in your own oppression. Other cases out there then, guys. This was another case that was coming out of the UK, where the judge has described cannabis as filth and it causes SLOTH. And that was the first time I've ever heard, like, it causes SLOTH. I don't know, is that something people are aware of out there? Like, is that a real saying or something, like, or is this judge just fucking from like a weird area, like? But SLOTH, but what he means is like that fucking animal, you know, that really slow moving, lazy animal. Like, he's trying to say that cannabis makes you like that, like, you know. Has he not seen fucking Sha Richardson there, Sha Carrie Richardson, the woman who was recently banned from the Olympics, and how fast she is? She's a cannabis consumer, you dopey old judge. Yeah? Seriously, like, do you know what I mean? Just judge us as showing his true colours. Like, cannabis is filth. It's like, do you know what I mean? He's just got a horn against cannabis. Like, it just, you know, it just satisfies him to be able to go out there and massage his own ego or whatever it is, you know, and kind of demonize this plant that's bringing so much benefit to people. Cannabis is not filth. Cannabis is preventing and keeping kids alive. It's preventing their epileptic seizures. It's freeing people from chronic pain. It's freeing them from more dangerous anti-epileptic drugs and dangerous opiate-based pain medications, you know. Cannabis is not filth. Cannabis is an amazing plant that's been robbed from our society because of you, you filthy judge. Because that's the only filth I see really here, like, is the judge who would go and do this. Because look, in fairness, like in this case, it was to a man who tried to get away from cops and he actually ended up ramming the cop car and everything. But that's because of your prohibition. This individual had a bit of cannabis in his car. Apparently over 100 grams of cannabis they found strewn across the road after finding the guy's car abandoned in the canal. Your man went away and tried to say afterwards he reported his car missing and said it wasn't him driving it, but the cops weren't buying it anyway and he got done for it. He was only 21 as well, like, you know. So a young fella, Bradley Jones was his name, and he was driving an Audi, and the cops pulled up alongside him and told him to turn off his engine and to stay where he was, but he reversed his car and sped off. And it says here that he narrowly avoided a collision with several cars, and after briefly stopping outside a co-op, a police car parked in front of him, leaving the passenger door open. And Jones then drove towards the car and clipped the passenger door where the police officer was standing behind. The hit sent a shock through his arm, and 10 minutes later officers found the abandoned car with a cannabis trail into the canal, and the cannabis trail then was 102 grams of cannabis. Jones previously admitted to failing to stop after an incident, failing to give information about a driver, and dangerous driving, possession with intent to supply a Class B drug, and a possession of a Class A drug also. He pleaded guilty on the basis that he hadn't been street dealing, but instead was acting as a messenger and passing on the cannabis to someone else. The prosecutor, Verity Quate, Jesus, it's a new name for me. Verity Quate, I'd say that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. She told the court anyway that on the May 7th last year, officers pulled up alongside him, could smell the cannabis from coming from the car. They told the defendant to stay, and she goes on to describe the whole incident here, actually, again, the judge. But she went on to say that the defendant has taken his own steps to becoming drug-free. He is living at home with his parents, and he has annexed himself from those hanging around on the estate, and he is trying to gain employment again. But sentencing him, Judge Paul Lawton said, "I'm going to start with a very few home truths about cannabis. It is filth and it causes a SLOTH. People who deal cannabis like you, as you have previous convictions for it, who want that lifestyle, who don't want to go to work or contribute to society and go on to benefits. This is at the risk of those in society who work hard and pay their taxes. It also leads to much bigger issues associated with serious organised crime groups. Criminals know the grower in the area and go around to rob it, use violence to try and rob people who are growing it, and if they don't succeed, they go away and burn it down. It is dealt by many who are hindering themselves on a harmful drug." Sorry, Judge, like, again, with your filthy views here, like, in fairness, like, you know, go express your yeah, go express your bias somewhere else, because like all of this is just filled with misinformation. It is not cannabis that causes any of this. It's prohibition. It's prohibition that enables these crime gangs to go around and to elicit violence in our communities and to rob people. Do you know that's prohibition? It's prohibition that sees these criminals go out and burn people down if they don't pay up maybe their taxes for growing cannabis in their community or something like. You just don't know the underhanded shit that's going on out there. But the judge anyway handed down a 10-month months imprisonment, which was suspended for 2 years and 6 months with a drug rehabilitation program also, with 30 days of rehabilitation activity requirements and £100 fine also. He was also banned from the roads for 12 months and his license was endorsed. So like, you know, the guy could have killed a cop, in fairness, like, and he's already getting off very likely here with this one. Like when you think about it, he could have killed the cop. He took off in what I'd imagine was probably a high-speed chase, left his car abandoned in a canal, like crashed into a canal, like, you know. So he got off likely here, like, in fairness, like, as bad as the comments were from the judge, the sentence was pretty lenient, in fairness. Like, the guy gets to go home. He has to do a few piss tests, but still, like, you know, he's a free man, like, so, yeah, that's kind of all I'll have to say about that. The comments though were shocking and completely unnecessary.